Good evening. Well, I hope you liked our extra long intro there. And yeah, so if you're joining us and you've never been here before, let me tell you a little bit about what happens here. So first of all, I'm really proud of my lower thirds. Took me ages to do that. Lots of tutorials watched on YouTube. But yeah, I'm Simon, Ableton certified trainer, producer, and I do this broadcast with Tim, who I'll introduce you to in a second. So this is kind of all about making music. The only kind of link to it all really, and the fact that we're on the Ableton certified trainers channel, is because most people we speak to on here and interview at some point use Ableton Live in their music making process. So that's why we do it, on here. But this is more about the sort of making music, you know, kind of songwriting, the getting things out, creating things, more about the kind of the whole process, not necessarily the how to use a compressor and a limiter and things like that. There are other videos on this channel that go into a bit more detail about things like that. So check those out. And even some of the videos on my YouTube channel as well, Simon Lyon Music. Check those out. But through all this, I have a co-pilot. And let's bring him in. And you may think, I recognise that guy. I've just seen him recently. And let's just bring it. And I've got his lower thirds coming on here. Boom. There you go. And who is this guy? Who is this guy?
It's me. So, I'm Tim. Hello, Simon.
Okay. So I'm sure I've just seen something like you dressed up as Elvis. What's all that about?
I was laughing for the audience. I was laughing hysterically while I was watching that. Simon's like, what are you laughing at? You're laughing at yourself there. I was like, yeah, not in a way that I found myself funny, but it's quite hard to watch at times.
Okay, yeah, well, I get that. It's like, not only is it like listening back to your recorded voice, there's a bit more than that, isn't there?
Just a little bit, yes. Yeah.
Right. So for those people who haven't seen that before, what's the story about that, Tim? When was it as well? That's even more. Well,
it was just nearing the end of the first lockdown, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or halfway through the first lockdown.
July. Well, I don't know where the video was sort of shot around July, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was one of we had that break, and I was sat around getting like miserable because I had nothing to do, and then all of a sudden decided, well, I could possibly do something big and make sure that I use this time well. So we launched the project, didn't we? Because we didn't really have, we'd been working on it for a good few years, but never we'd not put anything out there. We were just kind of like building the repertoire and the catalogue, weren't we?
Yeah. So I mean, we just wanted to get something out there that existed, and obviously because of lockdown, I couldn't be in the video, unfortunately. But yeah, it's but you know, you made up for that. But yeah, so that's like the first kind of Lostlight release, isn't it? So how do you feel about it now? Then
it makes me a bit uncomfortable. Okay. I think it's one of them where I'm sure everyone experiences it. You do something, and it was the right thing at the time. You know, I don't regret it.
No,
it was the right thing at the time. But you look back and think, oh, fucking, I'd have done that differently.
Always.
I think for me, it needed a bit more of a dark edge. I think it can come across almost like it's comical, but yet the content of the track, what the track's about, it's definitely got.
It's pretty much where we are now, yeah. The track,
yeah. Only the decline isn't quite as silent anymore.
No, it's like, should we rename Public Decline?
Public Decline.
Yeah. So you know, I think it's great, and the reason that I played it was to get this kind of response from you now, but it's because like we're working on another track now. We've had guests on our show, and basically, you know, we're always joking about this. So we're very transparent. We get them on so we can just delve into their minds and viewpoint, and particularly Superlative, who I spoke to before, and Biffin, who kind of do everything themselves pretty much. I mean, you know, they try and bring people in, and as they've got a little bit more successful, they've done it. But this DIY ethos, we decided, you know what, let's just do it DIY, because I think it removes that layer of people having a poke at you, doesn't it? Because you're just like, oh, look at that, it's crap, that. And it's just like...
Yeah, well, definitely. And also, it's a set of constraints, isn't it?
Well, that's what we need, don't we? We need restriction.
Yeah, definitely. We always need constraints just so we get something done. But it's like... Well, it's like when we've referenced LAMP before, and as soon as you put them constraints on, you just kind of like flew away. But especially with a video and the idea of the society failure video that we've shot, is we started umming and ahhing about all the fancy cameras, didn't we? And then we're thinking, no, because all we're doing is we're not like video production experts, but we need to do it ourselves. So work within your means and just use iPhones. Set it as a rule.
That's what we've done.
Make video samples, and that's what we've done. Yeah.
Inspired by Superlative when he did a video, and it was all on iPhones, and I wouldn't have known, to be honest. I don't.
No, not
I mean,
all.
you can tell when something's been done by Industrial Lights and Magic and stuff like that, but it wasn't, was it?
No.
So anyway, so that's that. I wanted to see what it's like because we'll play you our next video, which is very different than that one, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Yeah. So what a week anyway. How's your week been? I'm not even seen you, so.
It's been dreadful.
That's it.
Yeah. In fact, I'm just really. It sounds sad, but you can tell from my face I'm genuine. I'm just really happy to see your face again, and I'm happy to be here. Hello, everyone. It's great. It's cracking.
Good.
Because it's just shit. You know, I was watching this. There's this fella called Jordan Peterson who's a clinical psychologist.
Yeah, we know Jordan Peterson.
We like Jordan, and he said something along the lines regarding creative people, that when some creative people, if you put them in a non-creative job where they're not using the skill set, they just wither and die. I feel like I'm withering and dying.
Right, absolutely. That's so true. I'm sure that people. I don't know if anyone in the chat room yet, but yeah, of course. Yeah. That's exactly what happens to most people, and you've got to. I mean, that's something that we're going to look at in the next few weeks. We're going to have a little section about creativity, and we got Ned Rush on afterwards. So he's going to come in just after 8 o'clock, and maybe we can bend his arm into a jingle for it. We need to think of what it's called, but Creativity Corner. Creativity Corner. Tim's philosophy about not withering and dying.
Don't wither and die.
Yeah. Don't wither and die. No, have a stab at it. Have a go. Which is what we're trying to do always, 24/7, and it's tiring. So yeah, I'm going to share the screen, Tim. Oh, I've said it. So you can see what I can see. Boom, there you go. Can you see my screen?
I can see what you I can see what you see.
Yeah.
I apologise.
Oh, it's okay. Right, so, to be honest, was it last week? Oh, there's something else we need to say as well. Now, I thought that when... Let me just do that. There you go. There's us. Now, I did it before, and I could resize us. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Show, that's you. No. So you can't see this, Tim, but let me do it like that. There we go. Right, so we've got us there. I'm just going to put us there and park us up there. So, I've had quite an interesting week, and last week I couldn't do a show because I was doing this thing that I couldn't do. But what I was going to suggest, and we might as well talk about it now, is to do it every other week so that we've got chance to get stuff for the show, get a guest and stuff like that, and also to manage the expectations of anybody that wants to tune in and watch. And most people watch it after, I'd say probably most people watch it after the event, and that's cool because they watch them. The what?
One problem with us doing it every 2 weeks and saying, because we've got more time to prep and stuff, is we've not got as much of an excuse for it being shit anymore, have we?
That is true. So we're going to have to go a little bit more high quality. Well, we'll see what we can do. But yeah, I mean, it's just it's hard to do at the moment, isn't it? With just things, and I'm away next week. On business, not pleasure. Although I'll try my best to make it very pleasurable. Particularly those people who were watching now will know I'm there, so of course it'll be amazing. Anyway, so I had a great week and met some interesting people, Tim, and I'm going to tell you about the interesting conversations and people that I've had this week.
Please tell me.
Tell me things I've seen this week. Right. First of all, I was introduced to this Max for Live device by the guy who made it. and this is Milton Mermikides. Tell me if I'm saying it wrong, Milton, but I apologize. But so anyway, his website is Milt Online. So shortly, I'll be looking at what's on Simon's browser, and I'll show you where to find this on maxforlive.com. But it's called the Tintinabulator. Now, Tintinabulator, not Tim, Tin.
I think it
so there is a story about this is based on a composer and the way that he would write. Now, what this does, it does it for you. Now, we're going to invite Milton on the show to do a much better description of this. And the guy's amazing. He's just so cool. And he's got TED Talks and everything. And he's very inspiring for anybody, particularly you, Tim. You will just be like, this is amazing. And he talks about music is everywhere and stuff like that. And he's a lecturer and he's a producer and he's just brilliant. So this is the device. He's giving this away free on maxforlive.com. So basically, any of you that are out there using Ableton Live, as long as you've got, I think, 10 suite or 11 suite, Max for Live is built in, and you can just download this free and use it. Now, what it does in layman's terms, or whatever you want to call it, I've just armed this. I'll just open the channel. So I'm using my keyboard to play notes. Oh, it's doing it already. So I've got a piano, first of all, and when I play a note, you see I'm playing the blue note, the first note, and then it adds a note afterwards. Now, if I just make it so it says now, when I play a note, it will add another, and in this case, it's set to A minor. Okay? So, and that's not set to A minor, Tim. That is it.
No, excuse me. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. That was my father.
Yeah? Hello, Timothy Senior. Okay, so you've got. So I play a note. If I play this one, which should be an A, so now it's adding a note, first position inferior. So add a note from the chord, and it's like inferior is less than, and then if I do it second position superior, it'll put it above. So you can see I'm playing an A note there on the little keyboard, and it's adding a note. Does that make sense, Tim?
Yeah.
So I'm playing a note. So if I play two notes, it adds the notes above it. So if I'm playing A, it'll be a C. If I play a C, I'll add an E. So it's like the notes from the chord. As I said, Milton can explain it better, but I'm telling you what it does if you don't know anything. So I'm going like this. So I play a note. Does that make sense, Tim?
Yeah.
Just playing one above it. Now that was superior, and if I make it inferior, it will go below instead. So it's adding a note to it. Now there's this little cool thing here, which is like a delay, but it's like it plays the note an eighth note later or a quaver later. So if I play a note now, can you see that? So for you and I, Tim,
you even sounded like you could play piano then, Sam.
I was going to say, for you and I that are not known as pianists. So I thought, that sounds cool. So basically, I'm showing it on a piano so you can hear what it is. You know, it's not like if I put a fancy synth on, there's some synths that I've built in arpeggiators and stuff. So, but if I turn the Ableton arpeggiator on, I'll put the arpeggiator before it. So if I play an A, if I'll just turn this off, if I just play an A, it will just keep playing whatever rate I've got here. So just, you know, banging along. When I put this on, so you like that, Tim, don't you?
Yeah, I'm all right.
So that's just an arpeggiator. So you know, if I'm going like this, you know, that's just the arpeggiator. I'm holding a note down, and then if you make a chord, it'll play through the notes of the chord based on the rate there, which is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if you do that now, but now if I put the tintinabulator on, play the note, so now it'll play 1 and 2 and also add the note as well, but this will add it an eighth note or a quaver after. So it's 190 BPM I've got it set to. Yeah? If I do it 16th, it'd be even faster. Right, I can have fun with that, yeah. So I've got the so I've used the upright piano, which is the Spitfire audio, which comes with Live Suite, and then I've also, if I do this one, I can do it on the strings sound as well. I've got the string quartet. And I'll bring the piano back in. I'll make it a bit quieter, the piano, actually. Let's get a bit of reverb on it. Make it a bit lower, yeah? So, I mean, I'm just putting one finger on the keyboard, do you know what I mean? But I kind of like it. And just to give it a complete change, I'll go E flat, major, same thing. I don't know what voice heard means. I wonder if there's a help file on it there.
For anybody that's just joined, yes, Simon, he was just pressing it with one finger. He didn't just come in and think, what are these guys doing?
Yeah, what's he on about? Oh, I like that. Reminds me of... If the missus is watching, it reminds me of Regina Spektor. Let's go an octave higher. Because we can.
MHO said, rather good that, especially when you're stuck. Yeah, exactly, mate. You know,
yeah.
you get
Who
stuck.
said that?
Then, I'll press this one key here.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
And
I mean,
see what comes from it.
Trust me, we could go crazy on that, but I just thought I'd be gentle tonight. Anyway, so does that make sense, Tim?
Yeah, love it.
Right, just before I go, I'm going to try it on a 16th note. See what it does in the arpeggio.
Timabulator.
Timabulator. I'm in. You know what I mean? Have fun, Tim. But so now I'm going to show you where to get it from, and also I'm going to come out of here and then come back again. So what I'm going to do, this is favourite part of my week, is I better work this. It will be really rubbish. Oh no, I think it's going to work. Just let me just get on the window. So.
Is this the build-up?
Yes, you've got to have a build-up.
Build up.
It's real, though, isn't it? It's real. Here we go. You ready?
What's on Simon's browser?
There you go. That's Ned. Ned's coming on a bit. So, viewers at home and on the internet can see. Now, this is where you get it from. This is maxforlive.com. And I've already got on the page. So, it's the tinabulator. But if you're watching this, you don't need to know to spell it because you'll be able to see it. If you go back or rewind it, it's on there. And it's free. You just click download device and then you're in. That's it. You know, boom, download and then open live and drag it onto a MIDI channel. Now, you have to make sure that you put an instrument after it. Otherwise, there'll be no sound. It doesn't generate any sounds. Not that I know of. Anyway,
I'm going to have loads of fun.
Yeah, do it and just smack all them contact libraries after it, mate. And honestly, you will come up with something decent. Now, whilst I'm in the browser, have you heard of Goth Street Park, Tim?
No.
No. Well, I'm glad you said that.
What is it?
Well, it's a street, obviously. Yeah. No, only joking. So let me just go. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to go and I'll play you a little bit of the video so you can see. But yeah, they're kind of like jazz, but like sort of jazz hip-hop collective of musicians. And they've been on, they've wrote for like Celeste and quite a few people that you'd know, like, you know, in the charts and stuff. And but they're like a group of musicians and they're just like proper players, drummers, bass players. And it's just cool. And when I first heard this, I thought it was Krungbin on the radio at first. And I don't think they'd mind me saying that because I actually typed in Goth Street Park Krungbin after it. Found a guy who'd said Goth Street Park, Yorkshire's answer to Krungbin on Twitter. So I liked it. I liked it and went, nice one, mate. I've searched the whole of Google to find somebody who made a connection. And then he probably thinks...
That's like press release worthy, that, isn't it? It's like the Krungbin, but from Yorkshire.
From Yorkshire. So what I'm going to do, Tim, is I'm going to play their latest video. Now, the reason I'm showing you this, because this little cheeky hidden... bit that's on the Ableton thing, it's the stems, the remix stems from this track. They've put it out there to do it. So let's just play the video. I'll just play a little bit of it. You know, you can talk over it. But they're from Leeds. That's why they're from Leeds.
Leeds.
I like Leeds. Leeds is great. see why I think Crumbin is sort of like twangy guitars, spring reverb. The vibe. Now, if you go onto, I'll just nip over to
video sampling.
Yeah, you know what we're talking about. So,
what's on Simon's browser?
Yeah.
If we go here, you can go Goth Street Park. Now, Goth Street Park. So I've gone onto their Twitter, but it doesn't matter where you look. They've got a video coming out tomorrow, live from Park Street Studios, a live performance. Now, it's in their house, I think. They've got a studio in their house. It's like a end terrace house, and they've got the studio in the house, and they're going to be playing live for me. I think that's the 14th. That was yesterday. Oh, it's already on there then, so it was out last night. Oh no, sorry, no, it's September 16th, so it's tomorrow night, and you can watch it on YouTube. But yeah, here if you go instrumental EP Diego remix competition, that's where I saw this. So if you can see this on there. If you I just subscribed to their email list, and then they sent me a link, and you can download the stems, the remix stems.
Yeah.
So if I go back over to where we were, and then allowing people to see what I can see. One day I'll do this in one button press. So what I've got here, and now you'll be able to hear it, Tim. If I open this group, I'll put us up there. As if by magic, Tim.
Yeah.
You ready for this? Here's one you've heard before. I love that. So basically, the stems.
It's got real mood, this track.
Hasn't it? I heard it straight away. So Six Music, I think they've put it on the A-list, which is quite cool, actually. Yesterday, Tim.
Yeah.
I'll tell you in a minute. The great thing here now, you can just go. Innit?
Yeah.
You can tell it was recorded pretty live as well, because you can hear the guitar through the drum mics. Let's get a buffer shuffler on there straight away. Max for live, boom. Doesn't it sound like Krungren?
No,
sorry.
As soon as you start doing them licks, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that in my remix though. But isn't it wicked though? So, Tim, remix challenge. What you saying?
Yeah.
Are you gonna have a go?
Yeah. What me?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So,
yeah, let's do it.
I mean, you can join their mailing list or whatever, but so the actual original is about 90 BPM. Now, obviously, we got Ned on the show in a bit, and he'll probably take us into BPMs that have never been reached before. No, so I mean, I think if he were doing it, proper breakcore it or something. But I think for me, it's like it's got such character that it's a definite, like, you're going to add, you're going to subtract, are you going to, I don't know, it's got like a gritty, nice groove to it, doesn't it? I'm just like, I really like it. I think it sounds great.
Straight away you're in, aren't you?
Yeah.
You only have to hear 8 bars of it, and it's like, okay.
Yeah. So it's like, what would you do? So, you could dirty it up, you could chop it up. I don't know. So see what you do. And if anyone who's watching wants to get involved, the thing is, they've asked on their Twitter and Instagram, if you do something, send it to them, because it's like, it's a great way for any bands that are just trying to get out there. I mean, like, imagine how many people are doing what we're doing here and just going, oh yeah, I'll remix it. It's so well recorded, and it's only like 10 stems or whatever, and it's just like, oof, I think it's wicked. I'm
I
a
agree.
big
I'm with you.
fan.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so that's that. And if people keep thinking, what's this other band you keep comparing it to? They're called Khruangbin, and it's KHRU.
KHURANGBIN.
Yeah. And I saw them. It sounds like I saw them in LA, but it actually was part of a loop, Ableton loop in LA, and I'd never seen them before. And I had hair envy immediately because both Laura and the guitarist have got like.
You had hair envy.
Yeah, it's like down here and like immaculate free. No, I mean, I got the hair, and
You've got plenty. What I was referring to is the fact that you don't have the right to have hair envy on this show.
Envy.
I'm the one that has hair envy.
Yeah. Well, they were cool though, but they were like these three musicians from Texas, and they were well cool, and it's a similar vibe, like it's desert thing, you know, like your man does from Queens of Stone Age, like what's it called, Desert Sessions. You know, and they just
check it out.
They just drink cactus juice and get, and get crazy and go. We have a visitor. We have a visitor. Now he's on time, isn't he? Like to the dot.
Has he arrived?
Yeah. So Ned's here. I think maybe he's just come to save us. Yeah. Now Ned's done a live performance from us, but I think we should for us, and I think we're totally playing it down, aren't we? We're just like not getting too excited, but I think we should we'll let him in. We'll say hello, but I just want to play a video of the guest that's going to be on in 2 weeks' time. So like 2 weeks from now, he's going to be on, but I will let Ned in first because it's a guitarist and we can talk guitars and stuff. So let me stop this Abletonness and let's just bring Ned in, because most people, if you've been watching this show, you know Ned is. So Mr. Ned Rush, let's bring him in.
And then
we've not done this for ages, just brought a guest straight in. And yo.
Nedward, how are you, sir? Oh, you're on mute.
No, don't tell him. Don't tell him he's on mute. He's not. He's not on mute. He's on acid whatever records. He's not on mute.
Every time I sign in, Ned. How are you doing anyway, pal?
I'm very well, thanks. How are you, chaps?
Not too
Marvellous.
bad. Could we have a little bit more level, Ned?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Let's... Oh, my level. How
Yeah.
about that? Is that all right?
Oh, there he is.
That's that full tone that you've got to your new videos.
The full tone.
Oh, look at... We can't compete with that, mate. I'm sorry.
You got to start using condenser mics. That's where it's at with these broadcasts. Everyone's got 57Bs or whatever, SMBs. I forget what they're called. You got one there.
Yeah, SM7 something.
I was using this for a long time. That's the RE320.
Oh, yes.
But I've switched to the Aston Origin.
Ah.
It looks fancy, Ned. I don't know what that is, but it looks fancy.
It's it came out a few years ago, and everyone said it's basically the cheapest like Neumann copy you could get.
Okay.
It's like 200 quid, and it sounds fine, but it's quite noisy. I've noticed when you go into high gains, it gets quite noisy. But
Well, it must be pretty good though, because it's picking you up from like this far back, and every time I move away from this, I'm quite conscious that it doesn't.
Well, I do have quite a lot of compression and EQ on, so if I turn that off, actually, it's like this.
Oh yeah,
so
we're back to my levels now. Yeah.
I've brick walled it with.
Yeah. Well, see, I did all that stuff, and then other people seem to be having problems, but we can hear you fine, and it's great. But we had a guest on a couple of weeks ago, and when he spoke, even if we just went, oh yeah, it just cut him off, and it was like, I think it was everyone has to have. Yeah, everyone has to have the Zooms all set together. Anyway, Ned, loving the album, mate.
Yes. Are we live now?
Yeah. This is Yeah, sorry.
I thought this was like a little
interlude, like we usually
do.
No.
Yeah, last time it was like we were having a little chat before we went live.
Yeah,
and
it's my
it's a good
fault.
job you didn't say anything bad, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, because me and Tim are in this like babble zone. Normally, what I was saying was, normally we would play a video and bring you in, but we've got an exclusive performance from you, and I didn't want to just play that, without you, with a little bit of preamble and, new album coming.
New album preamble ramble.
New album preamble ramble. Yes. No gamble. Bit of shambles.
All right.
So I wanted to like sort of bring you in, and then because I want to play the guest who's coming on in 2 weeks' time, whilst you're here, because this is a guy called Chris Woods, and it was quite confusing when I first got an email from him because one of the main guys at Ableton is also called Chris Woods. And I thought, oh yeah, Chris, what you saying? And it was a completely different guy. And this guy is a guitarist, and I'll only describe it to get the point across, that he does all that sort of tapped harmonics and doing the things.
Oh, brilliant.
And he makes it sound otherworldly at times. And he's great. And so basically, he's going to come on the show, and he's made a video of how he used his guitar and Ableton Live to make a whole track with nothing but percussion. And he does this really wicked thing as well, where he plays the top of the guitar with a kind of scratchy sound as well. It's awesome. So I thought I'd play you both this so we could get 2 other sets of ears on it rather than just Tim going, I like it.
I like it.
I'm
in. It's dead good.
So let's get this on. And I've just got things to throw at you today. So let's go for this. So this is Chris Wood's Groove Orchestra, and in this particular occasion, it is just Chris on his own. So let's check it out. So now with this, Ned, you'll have to kind of have the stream on to kind of hear it properly.
Oh, all right.
No,
sorry,
you don't have to. You don't have to. You will be able to hear it through here, but it's probably if you just kind of watch it and then mute your mic, and then when I sort of bring it back on, you'll see, because you're gonna be a few seconds behind. We're throwing you right in the deep end there, aren't we? Just.
Okay, I've got it up. Yeah, I mean, I've got the stream up.
Yeah, and also it means we get 1 extra viewer as well.
You know, the stats will look better now.
The stats will look better.
Make sure while you're there, you click like, and you subscribe, and hit that notification bell.
But I know he's liked and subscribed. So yeah, this is Chris Wood's Groove Orchestra. So he's going to be on not next week, the week after, and check it out. In fact, I'll leave our mics on so we can talk all over.
Smiling for everybody.
Skills there, guys. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to bring you in. I'm going to save that now for when Chris comes on the show. But what you saying, boys? What do you think?
Just
it's lovely.
Fantastic.
Wish I could play like that. Yeah.
It's great, isn't he? So I mean, I like the opening bit where he does the sort of tap and slide. It sounds like a very vocal, doesn't it? Like, yeah, I think it's great. Now there's another video.
It's got so much feeling with it. I was disappointed you turned it off, to be honest with you. I
Well,
was all right.
You see, but I wanted to
on.
just let, if people want to check it out, Chris Wood's Groove Orchestra, YouTube, and he's doing all kinds of stuff. And like I said, he's made a track he's going to talk through how he did it, and he's going to be putting a video out about that, so you can watch it. And he uses Ableton Live to capture his nuances and slapping the guitar and doing all this stuff. It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice when people go a little bit out of the the normal range, because there's a whole load of other sounds on the guitar that you can do, but you kind of need to know where to find them. And he's obviously found them.
Yeah, he has found them. Oh, look at this over here.
They were lost and now they were found.
Yeah, so
there was like a little kind of scrape he did at the nut that somehow did. I love all that.
Yeah,
it was almost. I know that you, Simon, you had Live Without a Net on VHS in the 80s, like a lot of us did, and. And at that, Eddie Van Halen used to do all kinds of these things. He used to ping the springs in the body to make this.
Yeah.
That guy's basically doing the acoustic version of that, obviously in a different taste, but
no, exactly. Because I mean, when I asked him about the sort of influence stuff, I mean, there's obviously clearly a lot there, isn't there? But I don't think he was particularly trying to emulate, some of the guys that we listen to and things like that. But I don't know. But he's on the show in 2 weeks' time, so do ask, because I just think it's great. And there's another little tactic here that's going to make your music sound even heavier when we play yours. You know what I mean? It's just like it's kind of
this juxtaposition is going to be
just kind of
big.
The eclectic sort of music on this channel. I mean, just like let's just keep it going. But yeah, so I wanted to do that. So. And that's that was the nice vibe set by Chris Woods there, and
and now it's about to be ruined by my music.
No, it's not going to be ruined.
Not ruined.
Widened.
I would say that the appropriate word would be violated. Not ruined. No, that would give the wrong impression. Violated.
Interfered,
pestered, tampered. So
it's all going to go wrong from here. This is where the fun stops.
Fettled in an inappropriate manner.
So let's talk about the album, though, Ned. So the thing is, the last time you were on, the time before, you literally just finished an album which was more an instrumental. There was a lot of live drums and things like that. So what's different about this one? I know what the answer is.
Everything.
Everything. Right. Okay.
Well, the last album was certainly a very serious one. It was a serious album. This one is not. It's very silly. So it's like all right. The last record was very serious. Everyone take it seriously. And so with this one, I was like, no, I'm just going to have a laugh and make something a bit stupid.
Just for the audience, when I first listened to the album, I texted Ned and said, I've just burst out laughing at the first drop. And just to clarify, I mean laughing in a good way. And Ned was like, no, that's exactly what I wanted.
If people want to laugh at it, that's totally okay.
No, sorry, not laugh at it.
Or with it.
With it.
With it, either's fine.
Yeah, well...
Because that's still a reaction, isn't it? It's still an emotional response.
It got a reaction, yeah.
I heard the first time the first track, which I'm so pleased is the first track that I heard of this kind of, batch of tunes is my favourite, and you put it at the front. And it is like... It's not a laugh out of... it's just kind of like, you naughty boy. You know what I mean? It's just like, you naughty boy.
Jesus,
because it's just like... and it's got like a sort of like Aphex kind of surge of energy, but it's just this kind of like... Well, there you go.
You know what, gentlemen? I think we've introduced it enough. Should we just play it? Let's just play it.
So... I don't know if you want to give it any context, this, because I think it helps to sort of paint the sonic picture, before you do it. But so it's called 911, yeah, as in Porsche 911.
The Porsche 911. Although I was trying to find, so I nicked it from SoundCloud, And I went to go and try and find the link because I thought it'd be fun to share where I got it from. And apparently, some people in the comments said that it was not a Porsche 911 and was in fact a motorbike. And I remember, first of all, when you mentioned it, you said the motorbike song, and I said no, that's a Porsche 911.
Yeah,
you may have
true.
actually been right the whole time.
Oh my word!
And it may be a motorbike. I don't know. I mean, but it's just an engine.
Yeah, when it comes
really
down to it,
fast.
it's an engine of a motorcycle or a car, and you've really done some naughty things to it. So here we go. So this is a live performance that Ned's done exclusively for us, I believe.
We've got to get
this is an exclusive.
There you go. So
it's marvellous, Ned. We've got to get these exclusive performances in because I've got copyright complaints every week from our playing our guests' material.
How come you get them, Tim? Anyway, that's another conversation.
Because I look at them.
Oh. No, I'm on. Yeah, let's go. So this is Ned with 911 Live. Now, this is 911 as in a Porsche 911 that on deeper investigation, it could be a motorbike.
It could be, yeah, we don't know.
But after this, you really will not care. So I'm going to mute our microphones because this deserves our full attention. So here we go. This is live exclusive. I feel it's like KEXP, but it's like a live exclusive in the studio somewhere down south. And this is 911 Live by Ned Rush.
Take it away, Ned.
And there we go. Now, if anyone needs to sit down, then,
If anyone
then
needs
do
a
it.
break.
Now, I absolutely love that. I think it's
Brilliant.
fantastic. So, well done, man. Well done.
Thanks.
And so,
Applause in the chat room, please. We've already got a couple.
Yeah,
of
fruit
couple
reacts
of
in the chat
prompted.
room.
Fruit emojis.
Fruit
We like fruit
emojis.
emojis. It means a good thing. We don't know
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
what it means.
I don't
We
know
can
what it
put-
means.
No, but lots of fruit. We like lots of fruit.
Fruit
in the
is
chat
fine.
room. Yeah.
oh, yeah. Oh, they're here. Ableton drummer Toby in the house. How you doing, man?
Hi, Toby. We were hanging out last week.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Helena's there as well. Hi. And David
Hi,
Henkel.
Helena
How
Rice
you
Music.
doing?
Yeah, everyone's tuning in.
Oh, wicked. So, yeah, send some love. And
I've got to repeat MHO's comment because Ned, when I first saw that video, it was just one of the same things that I said to you. He said, "When in doubt, use both hands, full palms, and down."
Yeah, because after a while I started I sort of forget.
Fuck it!
Yeah. And the head as well.
yeah. I mean,
Amazing.
when we were playing that then and we were just like letting it play, and you said that if you're performing this live in a club or something, that you could just keep going because the way you've set up that is like a drum rack. Can I just ask some nerdy Ableton type questions just for a second to go in? A conduit for the audience. But any questions though, Ned's here. He's actually here right now. So do ask. That's the whole vibe. So what are you laughing at?
Ned was just making sure.
I just made a little joke. I made a visual joke.
That he wasn't in an illusion for the last 20 minutes. I'm only joking. Don't look at me like that.
Now you know I'm not frozen because you can see me LEDs going in the background. That was a really very poor attempt of being still.
The classic freeze troll. I've seen a few of those on a few. They're hilarious.
Yeah. Anyway,
you've got to do it at least once in life, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so were you using 64 pad mode?
Yes.
Of course. And did you find that the color coding enabled you to navigate your way around?
Yes, absolutely. So actually, the thing is that sometimes you need to be able to stop. You need to actually stop everything happening. So you could think of it on the grid. You could kind of think of it as the left hand side was one collection of sounds, the right hand side was another collection of sounds, and then in the middle, I would put. You can't see it on the video, but there's actually two red cells, which is stop. So
Right.
at any point, I can hit the red cells, and it's going to kill everything. Because the transport's not actually running. They're all just fired directly from the drum rack.
Okay. Now, did you use any Max for Live before the drum rack? Any Max for Live devices?
No, the quantizing is done. It's just a little hack I found where if you get a note length, device and set it to 1/8, and then set the arpeggiator, put an arpeggiator afterwards to the same resolution, then effectively it kind of just delays the MIDI note to the next step of that value. Effectively, you lose a few things, like you can't do sustain with it. But if you just want to fire something in time to the transport and without the transport running as well. So yeah, there was no sophisticated Max for live quantizing involved. It's all stock.
Amazing. No, because I remember you did that the first time I ever met you. Actually, when in Leicester, you actually demonstrated that, and I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you're one of the first people ever that I've saw do that. And people often refer to your jungle rack as because that's how you did it.
It's out there now in the world.
It's out there.
I don't have control over that anymore.
No, but you're going back a few years, and that's where it was. I've still got in fact, it might even be on my desktop here, and it's called something like NED RUSH Leicester, and it actually was the one you gave me from way back.
Yeah, and, I mean, it was like 2014, wasn't it? 2013. Long.
It's a while back. Yeah, I just remember it was you and Mad Zach. Mad Zach was there as well.
Yeah, and Jesse. That was where I met Jesse as well.
Ah, right, Jesse Abiomi.
Yeah. Well, I sat next to him at the curry table.
And
I think that was where I met Nick Ronin as well, and some other people.
Yeah, there was lots of heads there. But it was like that totally blew my mind. That there was you and Mad Zach just doing amazing things with drum racks, and just showed how powerful it was, and especially like for performance, and the fact that you didn't have the transport running. I mean, that there was just a video of you. You didn't even hit record on Ableton, did you? You just
it's just literally I'm just pushing buttons, just mashing buttons, and there are kind of certain areas where I'm like, this is a safe zone. If I hit this, then I'm going to get something that's okay. And then there's like, as I go further up the grid, then it's like they just get more and more silly and more,
I honestly, I genuinely love it. I always, from the first time I heard it, I mean, the first time I heard that, I think it was one of the first More Kicks Than Friends, and you performed it with like a side-on view. That was
that's right.
With beer in hand. And it was,
and I think a couple of tracks from that might have made it onto the album. I can't remember.
Well, that was my next question. Now, I know that you turned this around in a very short space of time, which when I heard that, I was like, oh yeah, I've got loads to ask you about that. But basically, what we the whole point of this webcast or broadcast, however you want to call it, is literally things like that. If people want to know how to make drum racks and stuff like that, they'll go and look at your YouTube channel to find out how you do your thing. And there's like all kinds of tutorials, but the actual sort of mental game about all this is like, well, first of all, what made you want to do this one in like a really fast turnaround? Was it itching, something you had to do to get it out of your system, or was it like was it a need, or was it a kind of like, I think it's time now? What was
no, it's because he told me to do it. The guy said, "Can you do it in 3 weeks?"
You sound like Joe Biden, Ned. They told me they don't want me taking any questions. Sorry.
What does Tim do in his spare time?
But the thing about getting it out of my system, that's definitely relevant, I think, because like I was saying earlier that the last record was very serious, this one's very silly, and I felt that for a long time I've just kind of thought at some point I just have to actually just make a crazy breakcore album that's just really silly. But so what happened was that Ben Bridges, who runs Acid Chicken, if you're watching, hi Ben, we actually been chatting for years and years, and he did ask me a few years back if I could give him enough music to do 2 sides of a cassette, and I said yes, and then I didn't, and then I didn't do it, and then he popped out of nowhere and said, "Can you give me something in 3 weeks?" And I went, "Yeah." And then the next day I read the email or the message, and I was like, wait a minute, what have I just agreed to do? How am I going to do this in 3 weeks? And I actually got it done in 2 weeks.
Jeez.
But so, yeah, I kind of... What's that? Sorry.
We were talking earlier about constraints, and it's like as soon as you're getting put on you, some different things happen.
Yeah, well, this is it. And so I kind of went into a kind of like a panic, but I was excited at the same time because I was just like, and I was having a nice time generally in life. Moved into this new gaff, had gone full-time self-employed, had all this free time, and I was just like, right, this is it. I can just basically work through the night, and I don't have to worry about anything. But I kind of thought, I can't just, I'm going to have to plan this quickly and meticulously because, it had to be exactly 2 sets of 30 minutes to fit on a cassette. So I couldn't go slightly over or under. I had to really plan the lengths of tracks. So I was actually really meticulous with the planning, more so than I ever would be. And so I was like, right, okay, I'm going to have to maybe stick to a template. So for the first time, I used a template where it was like, okay, I'll start here, end here, that bit in the middle, done. And I was like, okay, so what do I like? Okay, I haven't got time to think. What do I like? Okay, I like breakbeats. Okay, I'll just use loads of breakbeats. I'm not going to have enough time to write any music, so I'll just sample something. What do I like? TV themes. Okay, that'll do. So it's kind of like I was sort of the one-man committee meeting.
Yeah.
Like in my brain. What? Okay, go. And so there just wasn't really any time to stop and think. I just had to kind of chug them all out. And so I was, I got Uber to deliver beer to my house because beer helps me make decisions quicker.
Yeah. Or
So
make the wrong ones.
Or make the wrong ones, but
right.
I knew from Ben that he was gonna let me do whatever I want.
Brilliant.
But so I would kind of have a few beers, do this template thing, and then keep doing that over and over again. So that's why I called it lager, rinse, repeat.
Brilliant.
Because that's basically how I made the songs.
I like that. Yeah.
On that note, I've got a very important question for you, Ned. Evolve Tech in the chat room says Uber does beer in the UK? Question mark.
Uber Eats.
Yeah, Uber Eats. Yeah. They'll deliver alcohol as well. So because sometimes I would just find myself. Actually, a couple of times I was working on tracks whilst I was watching this show. The other thing is that I've kind of got this very nice space here to do music, and then I've got another one in the front room. But bizarrely, the first thing I gravitate towards was doing it on my MacBook on the floor. Just sat on the floor, just doing it.
Keep grounded, man. Keep grounded.
Yeah, I was kind of like, why is it that? And I spent such a long time planning like where I was going to put everything, and then the first sort of opportunity that comes along is it's straight to the MacBook, and some of them I even mixed on the MacBook speakers.
Wow.
So I was just
because you can.
Well, yeah, because I just thought it doesn't matter. Let's just get on with it. So yeah.
So I only know like sort of the story behind the 9/11 one, and you said when you sent it to me, you said, what did you say now? You said, can you recognise the TV theme or the theme? And now, obviously, one of them is Are You Being Served, isn't it? Like that one was quite obvious, but I think it's the second one. What's the second track called?
That's Sorry. Remember Sorry with Ronnie Corbett?
Yeah, Sorry. So that's what Ronnie Corbett, yeah. Sorry, no, it's called Sorry, Not Sorry.
Language Timothy.
Language Timothy.
Language Timothy.
Yeah, exactly. See, we're right back there now, aren't we? Everyone knows that.
So, now, obviously this is, tell me to stop but I'm sort of thinking, how do you approach sampling things, and do you care about any repercussions, or was it just like just sampling it and just seeing what happens?
What, like with copyright and stuff like that? Yeah, I didn't really think about it, and I thought, it's going out in Hong Kong. They've probably got different copyright laws over there. It's all right, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I'd be very surprised if the people who owns the copyright to the theme tune to Sorry is going to come after me.
Well, it can only be a good thing if they do, I think. You know what I mean? If
it's a little bit of recognition for sure. But
exactly, that's what
Make a big deal of it, Ned.
Because Tim and I have sampled something that no one has actually mentioned so far.
No one's addressed it so far, have they?
No.
I've not had a single person.
And it's pretty big as well, and it's on Spotify. No one said anything, so maybe I'll tell you off air, Ned, because if no one says anything, we're just going to keep going with it because we're going to make a video for it. But I'm sure at that point, if people actually start listening to the music a bit more, they're like, hang on a minute.
If it gets any attention, he'll be like...
So, we'll just drop a few little breadcrumbs along the way. But it's somebody, a very successful artist, you would say, wouldn't you, Tim?
I would, yes.
So it's not the people who made the lamp that you sampled. It's not the company that made the lamp, and they're coming.
It's not IKEA, no, Ned.
IKEA come to get you because you've used the sound of their products without permission.
I think it's Habitat actually, Tim.
We have a.
Where's it at? Habitat?
Actually, it's Habitat. Excuse me.
Habitat's coming for me.
Not IKEA.
No, you know what I mean. You got to have standards. No, I love IKEA, honestly.
You got to have standards. You nearly said. Insulted most of the people in the UK.
Hey man, just look around, man. This is an IKEA. It's underpinning my existence.
My living room is basically an IKEA advert. Like everything in there is because I was just like I don't have taste in home furnishings. I'm afraid.
No. Just break
maybe one
beats.
day I might. Yeah.
Great. So,
just desks with things on. Studio A and Studio B. Yeah.
So obviously, there's something that I noticed this week was you put the video out about shitting yourself with bass. If there's any awards for internet awards for music production videos, you'll be nominated in several categories. And the one that you will definitely you'll get nominated, you'll be against yourself, which is basically the category of best named tutorial video, which is make your shit Ableton beats, make shit beats in Ableton, make bass lines to shit yourself. But if I'd have had time, I was going to sample you and do my own, instead of make an album in 2 weeks, I was going to do it in 20 minutes, but I didn't even have 20 minutes, but I was going to sample what you were saying with the, flapping your trousers in the club and stuff like that. It was like hilarious, but also really cool as well. And I really like the phase shift on the bass and just moving things. Like it just makes you sort of get a bit physics, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like, oh, that's really cool, and sort of thinking about sound a bit more. So with that in mind, you've kind of used all kinds of techniques to make the album. But is there anything that you found yourself using that's either regular, that was either something that you'd made? Well, I know about the live sort of quantize-y thing that you've made your workaround, and I know about that. Was there anything else that you kind of was a regular thing that kind of cropped up? You thought, yeah, I'll use that. Is it anything that kept coming back?
Yeah, well, I mean, last time when I was on, you asked me on the last album if I'd used any of my own plugins.
Yeah.
And I actually had not. So on this occasion, I decided to use only those things.
That's cool.
And I've got it loaded up if you want to see it.
That would be great. I'm sure that everybody else would also be like, oh, yes, please, Ned. Just give a quick shout. Anyone?
I need to put my specs on.
Oh, someone MHO in there says someone has sampled all of Ned's quips. Lol. Do you know about this?
I've been sent videos where people have sampled me, and it's very weird.
Yeah, I bet it doesn't really interest you, that does it? But
I'm sort of like, it's sort of
I think it's more.
It's kind of creepy.
Yeah, exactly. I think I was going for like a homage rather than a direct rip-off sort of thing, But yeah. Anyway.
I think it's all done in in good humour.
Of course,
but it's sort of like it's a bit strange, but.
Yeah. So you've got some stuff to show us. So if you want to click the button so we can see what you can see, there you go.
Can you see what I can see?
No one said the SS word there.
It's becoming worse. It makes me feel a little bit worse than if you said, "I'll just show you what's on my screen." We'll just share screen. If you can see,
you've been in as many Zoom calls as I have, Tim, and people just go, "I'll just share my screen," and it's just like you can hear it coming, and it's just like, so whatever.
Can I just ask what was on Simon's browser today?
Well,
or have you not done it yet?
No, we've done it, mate. We've done it, and well, basically, it was. Have you heard of Goth Street Park?
I don't.
They're from Leeds, and they're kind of like a jazz hip hop. I think you'd like it actually. You could always rewind it and watch it later.
I will,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
And,
I was unable to watch the first 30 minutes because I was in a call.
Yeah,
but
sure. It's
I'll
cool.
watch it again.
Well, actually, see what you think, because it's kind of jazzy funk, and it's nice. They've like sort of backed, written and like kind of been the band for Celeste, who was like, she was nominated for Mercury, and you know, I like her. She's really good. And they're from Leeds, and they've got this this house in Leeds, and they just jam, and they've got a reel-to-reel tape recorder and a bit of Pro Tools and whatever, and it's just cool. I just like the whole vibe, and it's just, but they've put the EP they've released, which is called Diego. They've put the title track, the stems, online, so you can just download it and have a play. So it's not like a remix composition as such, but I just thought little challenge for Tim there. Just go and mash that up. That was
very cool stuff, Ned.
And the other thing,
atmosphere.
Yeah, the other thing that you might find useful is one of Milton Mermikides has done. It's what's it called? It's called the Tintinulator, and it's a free Max for Live. And you play one note, and it adds the next note above or below from the chord, and you can set it to do it instantly or with a delay after it, and it's just great for coming up with melodies. So. Do check it out.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're interested. You know, that's two of you now. So, anyway, we're on Ned's computer now. I get to sit back and listen and learn. I'm going to put my aircon on, so I'll turn my mic off.
Can you hear this?
No.
Did you share audio?
Well, I'm going through my mixer, so I don't think I should need to.
You shouldn't need to. No.
Oh, I know why. It's because I need to go here. There we go. Every single time. What about now?
Yeah.
Okay, so
marvelous.
This is a thing that I started making at Christmas with the intention of selling it, but I've programmed it really badly. You can see that it's idling at 20%, which is a clear sign that my programming was really bad. So I've been spending the last year trying to get it down to something reasonable, like 3% or something. But yeah, but it
exists.
It exists, yeah. And actually, even though that this is probably the most CPU demanding version, this is my favorite version.
Oh, yeah.
So I used this. All the sort of crazy sound design and special effects was all done with this.
Amazing.
And so
NetFX
version 1.05. So yeah, I didn't really have much time to sort of. I really hammered through it. So basically, I would just run things through this plugin, resample it, got really into the take lanes. Like, it was a really good opportunity to like really get deep into this take lanes thing. And I was just like, even on the MacBook with the trackpad, I was just and like just pinging things in. And I was like, oh, this is so good. I should just do everything like this now.
No, definitely. I think that's one thing that when I've shown people the comping or take lanes, the best response I've had that's made me go, oh, that's cool, is always from people resampling and doing like more of the what do we call it, creative comping. And it's like, it's a new way to make things really fast. Would it be interesting to tell you that in the next beat, there's the beta that, I don't know if you've got it or not, you can duplicate take lanes, like just Command D, just like you would with a normal track, because you can't do that.
Oh, okay.
So it'd just be an extra little, if you wanted to try something, you'd be able to just make another copy and then just try it really quickly. So it's another way of feeling through that process as well. So
interesting. Yeah, I mean, it really made the whole process super fast. I was able to do all these really complex edits and just whereas before, had I have done that, because it's not the first time I've done something like that.
Yeah.
So like in the past, I would just sort of chuck a load of stuff on, do all these weird processes, leave it for 10 minutes, come back and go, that bit's good, that bit's good. I'll take those bits and then put them together. But with this, I could just kind of like leave it looping. So I sort of did like 3 takes. The first take was kind of like, not really much is happening. It's just dry. Then I would do a second take, there was a little bit of jiggle, a little bit of variation. And then I would do a third take, which was kind of like the no limits, no boundaries, everything, pile everything in. And then, I just sort of went through and snipped a load of stuff out and just built all the tracks that way, really. So I was using this, this is like, this will kind of just glitch up stuff in a clocked fashion, so it's very rhythmic. And this is all like kind of probability based. So these I'm setting the probability. So and then I can kind of solo certain ones like this. So if I kind of maybe start with. Borrowed very much from beat repeat. There's a global chance thing down here, which is basically that's like, and there's no dry wet. It's on or off like beat repeat does. So I kind of nicked that idea. So with 100% chance, we're just going to get a repeat. But I can set the probability here for how often the effect comes on and triggers.
Ah, right.
So you can get all kinds of like sort of interesting. So already, to me, that sounds exciting.
Oh yeah,
it's funky enough that it's. But then you can start to bring in these other things to make it go a bit more ridiculous. Yeah, it's just
all right.
It's just lots of silly squirty.
That used to take like about a full afternoon's work just to do what you've just done there. You know, like the actual to do the actual physical edits and the, you know, all the kind of the programming and the effects and glitch stuff. So that is
like
just
with MIDI
awesome.
as well. If you were going to do it with MIDI,
yeah,
quite a while.
That's wicked.
So yeah, these are like this sort of group here. These are all sort of samplers. Then I've got like these sort of modulation type things. So this is like a filter, flange stuff. But if you kind of like, if you have it sort of about halfway, then it kind of just introduces a little bit of glitch every And then finally at the end, there's like all these different reverb and delay algorithms, which I did myself.
What does Squirt do, Ned?
We'll listen to it, shall we? Squirty sound. Sort of alien, the sort of retro 1950s kind of sound. My favourite is this one, Dubs, which kind of like does the dub echo. It cuts the incoming audio before it goes into this really intense echo network.
Right.
Where it kind of, you know, like the old dub echo, where it kind of starts to really bleed out of control and feedback.
Yeah.
Does this sort of thing. What? Oh, is it too loud?
No, it's cool, mate. It's cool.
Sometimes if you pause it at the right time, it keeps going. I can't make that stop. So that's a satisfying glitch in the matrix. Yeah. So there's also like I've added this fade thing as well, which I quite like. So the effects can fade from one to another.
Oh, I like that then.
It gets a bit quiet. Yeah, so that was
That's
basically
mega.
what I used on the, and look at that CPU, 30%. That's terrible.
MHO says I just soiled my armour.
Oh, he's got a great way with words, that man. He really has.
I shouldn't have made a video called how to shit yourself with bass, because now all I'm going to do is get poo jokes for the rest of my career.
Not from us, mate. Not from us. No, I mean, but
stupid fault.
Nah, I think it's almost like an authentic reaction to how dirty something is and how it, you know, it plays with the low end.
Well, it's not a new phenomenon, is it?
Nah.
The brown note. We all know about the brown note, and
What about the brown sound, though?
The brown sound, yeah, or whichever one it is. That's apparently there's a certain frequency. But I honestly, I just put that in just because I thought that people are going to want to watch this video. It's clickbait. I'll be honest, it's clickbait.
Absolutely, and what a great use of the expression and not be disappointed when you get there.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's not necessarily clickbait, Ned, because it does do what it says on the tin.
I hope it's informative along the way, but yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. It's like this kind of you've got this you know, an Ableton live video talking about bass, and there's a bit of physics in there as well. I'm sort of like,
Yeah,
this
a little
is
bit of
great.
phase cancellation, you know.
Yeah, I mean, should be on the curriculum. You know, shit yourself, get down. So with the other tracks as well. Now, I like the Man Talk one. Can you tell me anything about that? Trey's laughing. What can you tell me about that one? Man Talk.
Well, I was. I have a client out in New York. Hi, Sam, if you're watching. Even though that we've been talking every week, a lot of the time we end up just talking about movies.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about that scene from that film in question, about how laughably dated it is by today's standards.
Right.
And I was like, well, I'm just going to go and sample it then.
Good, man. Yeah. Just put it out there. Put it out there. You know, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Like, if it's not even how things can change. If you do go watch some films from not that long ago, you think, oh, you just wouldn't say that anymore.
Well, like there are films from 10 years ago where you can watch them and you can think, would this be acceptable now? Anyway, let's not get into that. But
no, we won't.
Don't get me started.
No, yeah, whatever you do,
don't put myself started.
Yeah, don't put 50p in Tim.
Don't do it.
Don't put it.
Just don't do it.
Is that how much
That's all
machine ranted?
It's all it costs, Ned. It's all it costs, and you get at least a couple of hours worth.
Yeah, you know, like when you go and if you need to inflate your tyres at a garage, and you go, and it used to be like 20p, then it was 50p, and now you can even put your card to, and you have so long to inflate your tyres. Tim is very similar on certain subjects. You just have to make sure he's well fed and he's sat comfortably, and then press go.
Well, I look forward to exploring that.
So
we'll have to do it off camera, Ned.
Yeah. So my other question, just steer us back on course, was were any synthesizers involved in the making of this 60-minute opus?
I think no.
No, I thought so. I was like, I didn't want to be that guy who said, well, I went through it and I found this there, but I actually don't think there was. It was like,
I think I did play synth bass on the one with the sorry theme on it. So if you listen to that, I'm doing like dubby sub bass because because the version I got off YouTube was so old, and the quality was it's so hard to find good quality versions of all those old Ronnie Hazelhurst things from the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, they didn't have bass then, did they?
They
just didn't do it.
But like, I seem to remember, I can't remember who it was. I don't know if it was like Mr. Scruff or Cold Cuts or something from the 90s. They did like, it was kind of also quite fashionable then to sample some Ronnie Hazelhurst stuff, and because the breaks on it are really good and it's all very funky. And so I think there might be some like vinyl copies like that they probably bootlegged or released without permission or something from the 90s, but I couldn't find any official versions of any. I think the Are You Being Served is the movie version, not the TV version. So I think I probably could have found a nice vinyl version, but yeah, so there were times where I was like, there's no bass on this. How am I going to put bass on? So some of them I just played the bass myself on the keyboard, just played it along. But some of the other ones I would like duplicate it and filter it off like loads.
I
so
do
that.
It's
just the low end, and then try and just kind of try and make the bass present, sort of superimposing its own bass back onto itself.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
EQing it out.
I've tried that. It's almost like jigsawing, isn't it? When I'm in no way a carpenter, but when you cut something out and then you put it back with a slightly different finish, and but I sometimes use the on the drum bus where you can do the boom, the kick thing, and you can add it. I sometimes solo that, get the output from that, and then play mix it onto another channel.
That's a good idea.
Bounce it out if you like, and then reapply that to the original, but with different treatment, and because you've got it then completely separate with the original. I mean, you could do it with some tactical sends and everything, but I think if you do it and you actually just solo it, mix it out, because you can solo the bass, can't you, and listen to it and tune it. So
yeah, good idea.
It's try it, and you can really treat it. And I use pedal as well. I was explaining to somebody recently who was using Ableton Live 11, and they didn't even know that pedal existed. And it's like when we use all these stomp boxes on Moogs and stuff, if you use an as far as I'm led to believe, you might be able to tell me about this, that if you use like a stomp box, like a Boss distortion or metal pedal or whatever, apparently they roll off the sub. It doesn't go that low. Whereas whereas pedal, the Ableton one, they've put it back in. So when you press that sub button, it allows it. It's an emulation of those 3 famous distortion pedals, but the sub button gives you that. So when I basically use it, every time I use my Moog and I do a bass line, I always put that sub, and I just crank the bass up and just blend a little bit of it in, and it's just like, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah,
and
interesting. I hadn't really played around with that thing much, but I did notice there was a sub switch.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I bet that's nice for bass as well.
Yeah, I mean,
when you put distortion on bass guitar, the low end's gone, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just gone straight away.
So, but the idea of that is that the sub is put back into the circuit, if you like. I don't know, but check it out. It's good. Yeah. So another question that I had, what was I going to ask you about? Where did you sample it? Is it all online sampling with that, or is it any of it? Because you mentioned like vinyl then, but was that just, let's just keep it all within the box, or was there another external sample source?
Well, I sometimes would get stuff from Soulseek, which is not as active as it used to be, but it's still a good place to, go and nick files. And if I couldn't find it on there, then I just rip it from YouTube.
Yeah.
So, and obviously some are, better quality than others, but it didn't really matter.
No.
Because it's a comedy album.
Yes, it's a sitcom. It's the new theme track to a sitcom.
There were others I did that I didn't put on because I didn't do as quite a good job, and they also didn't fit. I also did Sex in the City. With some samples of Samantha saying rude things from Sex and the City.
She's very rude, isn't she?
Which I think is hilarious. And I also did Blockbusters, and I did The Good Life, but they didn't make it on there. But maybe they'll come out at a silly club night sometime or something.
There you go.
Ned, just bank this idea. This isn't necessarily going to be very interesting for anybody other than us. But what you just said there, I've got a sample that I want to send you. I'm going to rip it tonight and I'm going to send it you. And you've got to, like, when you've got time, you've got to put something after it of Ned's style and send it back to us. Because when you mentioned those, because you mentioned those samples, then there's this particular conference that I've watched, and there's it's just genius. I can't even say what it is, but you'll hear it and you'll just be like, okay, and then we'll play it on a future episode. So we'll bank.
All right, let's have a listen to that later when the show's
over. Without saying what it is, Tim,
have
you shown me this, and also Jill, is it something you showed us on a video?
Yes, it's a conference with a collection of people making very profound statements in sequence, and one of them is just absolute gold. It's genius.
I know the one you mean. Yeah, it's out there on YouTube. It's there to be pilfered.
Yeah, I mean, like that thing, that Sex in the City thing was just, I literally typed into YouTube like top Samantha quotes from Sex in the City, and I just nicked a video, and someone had already edited together all these things. I was like, these are just funny quotes. I'll just stick them in, but it didn't make it on the album because the track was a bit crap.
Right. Well, at least you've got a good quality control in place. That's what I was going to ask you. Is there any tracks that didn't make it? And there you go. So, what was how many did you make, and how many did it end up as?
I probably made about 20, 25, but 14 went on there. And and there were some where I haven't actually listened to it like quite recently for the first time, and there's some stuff on there that's actually really experimental that I don't really remember making. And there are some in there where I can't recognize the thing I sampled, so I'll never know unless I go and open up the project file.
Yeah,
I literally have no idea what it is. So
basically,
I was kind of like, how can I just completely transform this into something so it's completely unrecognizable? That was kind of one discipline, I suppose. On the more sort of abstract ones that are a bit more kind of, there are moments I think where it goes a bit Steve Reich, and there's lots of kind of just like jumping around very kind of like sort of psychedelic.
Yeah, no, I mean,
electronica.
It's still, kind of. I've listened to it sort of 3.5 times through, and then I've had it on, and there's always a bit that makes me turn my head and go, what? Just like. So I really do have a respect for you turning it around in that time, but just the ideas themselves are great. Whether you even did anything with them, and you have, it's there, and also it's on tape. Yeah, it exists on tape.
I haven't seen. Well, I've seen a picture of the tape.
Well, I do have a tape deck, and I it's not here actually. It's over there. It's a TIAC tape, and you can do a little, kind of a little bit of a tweaky thing with it, but it's an actual separate tape deck. So I shall purchase one and have it as a collector's item, and B, that I can just play it on the tape and then go, there you go.
Well, I can tell you, although I'm not really sure if this is official yet, but if you buy the first run, there'll be very limited edition because there's a typo. So
right, I will.
We'll have one.
I'll buy one. Yeah, I'll buy one too. Definitely. I think I've tried to do that with sort of any friends and artists that are doing stuff. If it's a physical product, I will definitely buy it, because I know that it's you've got to pay for the medium it's on, but also it's kind of like it is something that we can, rather than just have all these vinyl that have been handed down that I would never have bought, kind of thing. This is something that people have made. I bought the Sleaford Mods album on vinyl, the last one, Spare Ribs as well, because I like them.
I like them. I didn't at first, but no, I like them. Still not into Slaves though. You're not convincing me on that.
Slaves? Oh.
Yeah, I don't like them.
No,
what do you reckon, Ned? What you saying?
I've not heard Slaves. I've heard Sleaford Mods though. I liked it. Yeah. I've not heard Slaves though. Maybe I'll check it out.
Slaves is kind of a bit more of a London sort of vibe, and the singer plays stand-up drums, and there's a guitarist, and the guy that recorded them first, I think he was the son of someone like Alan Parsons or somebody like really mega famous who'd done like Pink Floyd and things like that. But he tried to get them to play like with using normal kick drums for the drums, and like using full kits and stuff, and it just didn't sound right. So they went back to basically using he plays the stand-up sort of toms, and he sings and hits them to give like the sort of low end. And in the end, he just went, just do it how you do it. And then they just multi-layered all the guitars, multi-tracked them, and sort of made some that were kind of playing the bass end. And it's very, shouty, rappy vocal sort of thing. Tim's not impressed, but I think particularly the first album, and just quite cynical as well. I like it. But yeah, good guitar riffs as well. Really, very sort of more. It's hard to say where their influence is, really. I wouldn't want to say something wrong, but I can almost hear like the Adam and the Ants drums, if you remember them, Kings of the Wild Frontier, and that kind of with a bit of almost, I don't know, I wouldn't want to say, but it's interesting. Tim's still not feeling it.
Just looked at
Are you trying to sell it to me? I've heard it. I've heard it. I don't like it. No offense to the Slaves guys. It's not my bag.
I think they're great.
Cheer up! I'm gonna go and I'll go and have
check them out.
Yeah, start with the Hunter. That was the kind of the first thing that put them. I know you'll like it, Ned, because it's a good guitar riff, and it's kind of it's just Avits. It's got attitude. Tim will come round eventually.
All right.
Yeah, check it out, Slaves. Anyway, so what do you like for time, Ned?
I'm not in a huge rush, no.
Okay, so what I was going to do, he's not in a huge rush.
I was going to...
Go on.
I was going to say, are we going to play Songversations?
Did you want to play? We can play.
Of course, he's one of our guests. He has to play. But what I was going to do, I was just going to play something that means something to me, and then we'll come back.
Can we play the Father's Day game?
The Father's Day game, yeah, of course. I just feel bad that you've had to ask, Ned. That I've not. It's like you go around.
Before I came on, I was like, make sure to ask if we're going to play Songversations because I've seen nearly every single Songversation.
Well,
have you?
I think,
absolutely.
I think I must have seen most of them. Yes.
Well, what I was going to say is, of course, we will play Songversations. It's here, it's ready, there it is. And before we do this, but I'm just going to play a video, and it is one of our friends, and it's actually quite good, and it's quite big as well. And I'm catching up with him tomorrow. So this is, so you know Andy C, drum and bass Andy C. He's pretty big. Head honcho, Ram Records, he the man.
Back in the day, Andy C.
Yeah. So our friend Ton Piper from Manchester, my boy, and he has been Andy's hype man or MC for a fair few years now. It's the last he's done American shows with him. He's toured Europe. I mean, before that, he was doing kind of, you know, whichever tour he went on. He'd done all sorts, and a lot of the sort of. When the dubstep thing broke as well, he was touring with quite a few of the dubstep crew, and he just was everywhere. You know what I mean? He really is. Everyone knows Tom Piper. If you just like sort of bump into anybody, I know Tom Piper, and like, yeah, he's my mate, like, you know. And so he asked me to record some vocals for him. I said, I'm going to track with Andy, and it was like, all right, good, about time, sort of thing. And Andy just released his track. I think it was last week. It was on the bank holiday, so how long are we on? It's about 2 weeks ago now, and it's doing rather well. And I just thought, hey, let's play it on the show. And so this is Andy C featuring Tom Piper, Manchester's finest. So anybody from Manchester who's been to any sort of the big gigs and the sort of warehouse projects, I'll always know the drum and bass night. Ton's always hosting one of the things. In fact, Hit and Run, he does that a lot as well. Which is now on a Monday, 11 till 4 a.m. Ooh, I won't make that one. On a Monday. This is hardcore, aimed at the students. Oof, no lectures on Tuesday for me. But yeah, you know, it's Hit and Run, Rich Reason, all them guys doing great things in Manchester. But anyway, this is getting played out a lot, and this is Andy C featuring Tom Piper with Boom. Here you go.
Reality hits. The one out of 7 binary did kids. Want to stand out in a world of misfits. Running right underground like district. Hands are father time. Stop for no one. This is mother. I victim of the program. Mind of Agent Smith trapped in the matrix. Unblock, take it back to the basics. We take it back. We take it back. We take it back. In the
places, but it's actually UKF. If any of you follow the UKF channel on, it's had loads of plays on there. And the official one, Andy sees, not as many as that, but it's getting some plays on Spotify, and they're playing it out. Playing it out in all this sort of. They played it at Park Life on the weekend. I went there on the Sunday. That was interesting.
Where's Park Life then? Where's that?
It's Heaton Park, which is just literally up the road from me. It's just a bit more than you'd walk, but I did actually walk it. I did 8 miles over the weekend. I went to see.
Get that in. Just get it. I walked 8 miles over the weekend.
I did, man. And my battery ran out on me iPhone as well, so it didn't quite on me iWatch, and it didn't collect all of my steps, which I was gutted about. But
High tech walking. It was high tech
it was
walking.
high tech walking. But yeah, it was a new order played on Friday on the Park Life's the site. So I went to see that, and I was going to tell Tim before that I've done a remix for two of the guys that are in New Order that do play guitar and bass for the current lineup. The lineup, we've been doing it for ages, and they've got another band called Sea Fever, and they got played on Six Music yesterday, the single, which is that, and then I've done a remix with Martin from Spiral Carpets, and hopefully they'll play that in the next couple of weeks. It's on. I think it's going to be part of the album which comes out in October. But yeah, it'd be interesting to get that played.
Simon, something gone on with Simon, mate?
I think it could be.
We seem to have lost it in the chat room.
There you go. It was just it was just a bit low. I think I didn't put it back up. It was just me sort of going on about how I've done a remix for some of the guys from New Order, and just trying to plug myself. It's no worries. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, but thanks for telling me, Tim, because yeah, I'm gonna get some sort of mega console for doing all these fades. Anyway, it's this time.
I really recommend the Tascam Model 12, honestly.
Tascam Model 12.
Yeah, I've got one, and it's great for broadcasting and Zooms and stuff. It's really flexible.
Right. I need to look into something because it's a little bit kind of the way I'm doing this is it's one of the things you either do it or you just theorize about doing it for ages because it's nuts. Is it working again now, Tim? I know what it was. I know what it was.
Toby nearly caused some trouble by saying no, it's doubled, but he's come back with no, it's just him. Stop causing trouble, Toby.
See, now that's Tim's job. Tim's job to cause trouble and say, "Oh no, we've got this some sort of feedback," and like, no, everybody else all right. Yeah,
no,
right.
Tim, you've just left your speakers on, Tim. Yeah,
anyway,
that's all you've done.
I'm gonna go from left to right this time. It's time for
Songversations.
Oh, it doesn't work that way. It only works that way.
Songversations.
Where's the intro video, Simon?
What intro video?
You've got an intro video for Songversation. Oh no, I'm getting mixed up. I don't even know our own show.
No, I don't. We've completely missed. We're
just making it up as we go along,
right.
People.
I'll tell you what we'll do. Because Ned's on as well, and I'm glad we've saved some. My idea was to save some features when you came on, Ned, because we thought we had enough to talk about always, and we have, because we've missed Groove Appreciation.
Oh.
And the jingle writer himself is in the house. So what we're going to do, I'm going to do Songversations can just stand at the back a minute because we've got Groove Appreciation. Now the Groove Appreciation this week has been picked by none other than Tim stroke Lostlight stroke producer, whatever it says on your... So this is Tim's choice. So you can explain it all in a second. But first of all, here we go. And Groove Appreciation indeed. Now, obviously, there will be...
Groove Appreciation indeed.
Groove Appreciation indeed, now, ladies and gentlemen.
And I mean, I've got all. I just don't know where to start with this one. So this one was chosen by none other than resident Tim from Lostlight. That's his actual name, Tim from Lostlight. Yeah. Now, Tim, it's over to you to tell us why you chose this particular groove appreciation?
It's just cool. It's like it's when I was younger. First listened to this when I was at college, and one of my mates who we used to go and smoke cigarettes in the car and listen to music.
Oh yeah.
And he showed me this, and for just one instrument for the vast duration of it. It just has everything to me, and it's got serious groove, of course, because this is groove appreciation.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a winner. Victor Wooten.
Let's just see what happens. So this is for most of it. It is just one man and one bass. Now there's a bit what comes in, and I was trying to think, is that one bass or two? I'm not sure. So I think you're probably aware of it, Ned. The kind of left hand taps the root and the fifth and all that lot, and the right hand, it's opposite for you because you're left-handed. But it's doing the kind of this with the right hand, and then but it's not just kind of a technique. It's actually really cool as well. So anyway, let's play it. So this is "You Can't Hold No Groove" in brackets. If you ain't got no pocket.
If
so
you ain't got no pockets, you can't hold anything, Ned.
You can't know.
That's true.
Don't you hate? I hate that when you get a new jacket and there's no pockets in it. You can't hold your keys or anything. Here it is.
Rubbish.
Here we go.
He's a dirty man.
He is filthy animal.
Dirty man.
Right, this is the bit coming up now that I meant before.
Oh! Pretending I know how to play it.
Naughty. Well, you know what? You get an extended.
Well, you know, even I hope we're not boring people, but it's all worth it because you go through all this and then the end is just absolutely brilliant. It's beautiful.
This is the bit I meant now. That wait. This. Is that still on one bass?
I don't know.
I reckon it is because it's that cool.
He is an unbelievably talented
Yeah.
Is he playing 5 string or 6 string?
A 5 string.
Yeah, 5.
This is the best bet. Winning.
Can't hold no groove. If you ain't got no pocket, you can't hold no groove. If you can't make it dance.
Yo, Victor, whatsoever you do, I want you to remember this here.
Well, everybody's got to.
All you got to do is.
Everybody's got to make it groove. Everybody sing.
It's just fucking marvellous. I love it.
There you go. The first time we've ever played a track all the way through, Tim, and it was just for you.
Oh, thank you very much. I enjoyed that thoroughly. I don't know if you could tell.
Yeah. I've watched a little bit of Victor Wooten. The man has an incredible double thumb technique on his right hand. He can somehow, you know how if you're playing with a plectrum and you do a 16th note, you would just go up and down. He's doing that with the thumb, but he's also doing other things with the other fingers.
Yeah.
Whilst going like, he's kind of doing it. It's like it's crazy.
Well, do you know I always say his name wrong. Toisin from is it Animals as Leaders? He's got like I think it's an 8-string guitar, and he's doing the same sort of thing. It's kind of like a slap and roll thing, and quite a lot of guitarists are doing it now on 6 strings. And you can play like these really like where we sort of back in the day it was a sweep arpeggio. They're kind of thump. It's called thump. I think that's his style. It's called thump and roll or something. And you can do these really like cascading arpeggios. And Tim Henson does it as well from Polyphia. And it's kind of like combined with a few of the techniques. It's just absolutely nuts. So yeah, well, good choice there, Tim. It's the first time I've ever played one all the way through, and because it was so different, I think we justified that. But now, it's time.
Conversations.
It's coming in.
For the third time.
Conversation. So, for those of you who have just tuned in to see Ned and thinking, who are these guys? And what are they doing?
What's going on?
So,
what is this?
Yeah.
What has Ned asked me to do now?
Yes. So,
Watch this.
So we tried. I did say this a few weeks ago. This is it was bought for me for Father's Day, and it's little records, and each one of them has a question, as a conversation starter based on a song or music. So you shuffle them, you pick one, and there's rules on how to play it as a game. And we started, let's follow the rules and do it. And we had a few drinks, and it just went. We just ended up doing exactly what we're doing now. Shuffle it, pick one, talk about it, and go, oh yeah, I did that, and then that was it. So
guys, if you've got any answers yourselves in the chat, fire them in. Because we'll read about it if there's some good fun ones.
Oh, so this one, now these are under. No, I'm not going to choose this one. I'll tell you what it says, but I'll move on. I'll come back to it, and then you can ask me what it is, because it's just shit, that one.
Because it's crap. Why are we reading it out then?
Yeah, well, I won't
just
then.
move on.
I trust you to curate a good question.
I think we've had this one before, right? But anyway, what's your favourite cover song of all time, and what makes it better than the original version? And on the B-side, as a separate question, how do you feel about new artists sampling older music? So suppose it's kind of, there's a little bit of...
feel nothing about it.
Nothing.
Could not care less. People can do what they want.
Yeah.
Good answer. I like that.
Yeah, that's the quickest and best answer, isn't
We've
it?
put that one to bed. So the
Actually,
first question.
I better not have any reservations about that, because that would make me look like a huge hypocrite, because that's basically what my entire new album is.
Yeah, your new album was built on that premise, wasn't it? Of
Yeah.
like, I don't give a fuck. So there you go. So I think just
Favourite cover song?
yeah.
I quite like Michael Jackson's version of "Come Together" from the end of Moonwalker. Do you remember that?
No, I can't remember that.
I think it was like he only did it on the Bad tour. You'll have to go and
Dig.
You'll have to go and dig, or you'll have to watch the end of Moonwalker. It's probably on YouTube somewhere. But I always thought that his version of "Come Together" by the Beatles was pretty good.
Okay.
I don't know if it's my favourite cover, but I always liked it.
But that sprung to mind.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been asked this question before, and I always say the same thing, which is "All Along the Watchtower" by Jimi Hendrix, because the Bob Dylan version obviously was like the lyrical and the whole, he wrote it. But when you just hear what Hendrix did with it and how it was just there's a vibe in it that to me is just like, oh man, that clearly isn't there, and obviously in the
I don't think I've heard the Bob Dylan version.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, you hear it and you think, oh yeah, that's that. Okay. But you can't have one without the other. So it is genius. But how somebody reinterprets that and completely embodied it, I think it was just amazing. So that's my answer for that one. Tim,
I remember seeing a video of Radiohead doing "Nobody Does It Better"
Oh,
by Carly Simon on MTV in the
that is
mid-90s.
good. Yeah,
and Johnny Greenwood doing the Johnny Greenwood thing he used to do a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
just messing it up. But yeah, it's funny. I Shazammed a track and thought, yeah, that's a track that needs darkening up. I tell you who's really, really cool, and I can't look at it because it's on my phone, but I follow this, I think she's Russian, and she does, have you ever seen it on Instagram? It's what if you mixed Radiohead's, like, say, Creep with Daft Punk, whatever, and she basically picks the song from one and then sort of does it in the style of the other, and then sometimes she's even flipped it back round again, and she's like,
that's cool.
She's a very nice looking lady who's very, very talented, and she just does this. She's also part of a band as well, and she's just amazing. She's so talented, and she just picks these songs and she kind of does it, picks the tracks, presents it to the camera, and then just performs it with this kind of real like look to the camera of just like, yeah, it's amazing. I'll have to share it on the next show or something, but because you need to see it. I mean, she's got several thousand people doing some hard follow for her, but you know, amazing. Go on, Tim, it's your turn.
I don't know what my favourite one is, but one that stands out because for some reason the comments that the original writer made hurt Johnny Cash. Oh. Because Trent Reznor was like, he said the first time that he heard it, he didn't think anything of it, and then on subsequent listens he was just mesmerised by it, and it's such a when you take that industrial flipping very raw sound of Nine Inch Nails, and then you've converted that track into what Johnny Cash did with it. Well, it's quite
That's
special.
That's a good choice, actually.
Yeah,
I think you've made a good choice there.
Yeah, because it's like dark and it's got the original intention, but it's proper. You're having it, aren't you? There's no escape.
Well, yeah, and then Johnny Cash went and did that, especially with the video, which I thought was a really quite a moving video along with the track. It was something special.
Yeah, so that's kind of like the opposite way around as it would normally be. Yes,
to the table. Yeah. Usually you'd take something and then you'd go filthy on it, wouldn't you? But it was the opposite way around.
Yeah.
Remind me later to what if we're still chatting later that I have to find that there's a video who does of a guy who does cover versions, but he does them on those what are they called? Those like giant things that conduct electricity. Like
Van de Graaff generator things.
Van de Graaff generator. Yeah. He does it with two Van de Graaff generators. So it's like Sweet Home Alabama or whatever on two Van de Graaff generators. It's very silly. I'll try and dig it out.
Can't imagine why you'd be even remotely interested in that, Ned. But Simon Davenport is in there. So hi, Si. How you doing, man? And he says, "Hey y'all, enjoying the stream. Why, thank you." And he said, "Did you know George Harrison Got My Mind Set on You is a cover?"
Oh, is it? And I didn't know that.
I think Simon is a DJ, so he would know that. But
DJ
yeah, wicked. That's because I know that song. Like I always think of that George Harrison era as being what's the band he was? The Traveling Wilburys. It's very that era, isn't it? That kind of. I mean, Tim, you were probably at primary school when that was out. In fact, you probably weren't even at primary.
I probably was at primary school as well. Yeah, that was in the 80s.
I think to be fair, I think I was actually. To be honest,
Ned's just taken you into the wilderness and left you there alone.
Okay. Hey, you know, I can.
MHO says he quite likes "Sound of Silence" by Disturbed as well. It's pretty.
Yeah.
It's different. It's quite dramatic. Isn't it? I like
just
it.
While we're on that, have you heard David Garn from Depeche Mode's version of "Nothing Else Matters" by Metallica?
Oh, that's interesting. No, I've not.
It's on YouTube's. Yeah, check it out. Yeah, Martin from Inspiral sent it me, and it was like, hey, that's interesting, you know, because you've got like an iconic voice with an iconic band and just a little bit of a twist. So
Yeah.
There's been some terrible cover versions, and it's usually when people do feel. I mean, the one recently, I forgot which film it is. 'Cause I've just watched like one of the Marvel films with the kids, so it might be one of them. But it's Smells Like Teen Spirit, and it's a female vocal, and it starts off like, yeah, this is going to be cool, and then it just kind of.
Wait, is that the one that we used as a reference? Because I was thinking about that as first. Is that the slowed down version? Cause
we were looking at something else, weren't we?
We've got an old track, Ned, called Thirst, and it's quite it's quite a full on. It's a set opener. You know, it starts. It's got a gritty intro.
Yeah, it's
but
quite
we've
156, 160 BPM, and it's kind of like you're having it.
Yes, but then for some reason the lyrics were written in such a set of circumstances on a piece of till receipt paper after not being home for 2 days and being an absolute mess. I'll have to tell you about it another time. We needed. I felt like the lyrics needed to be dragged out of it because they'd become less of a feature. So we did a cello and piano version, and as a reference, we used this cover, and it's a slowed down version, quite dramatic of "Smells Like Teen Spirit." But after the introduction, it elevates itself too quickly, doesn't it, Sam?
Yeah, it's just like whatever.
Who is it? So we can at least give him a shot.
I forgot, but it Smells Like Teen Spirit by.
Slowed down version.
Yeah, I mean, the idea's cool, but I mean, it's like you've got to be, if you're going to mess with it, you've got to do it right, haven't you? But
I've got to be honest, I have a very, very low cringe threshold when it comes to sensitive acoustic cover versions of other songs. I'm just kind of like it. I think it's the intent behind it sometimes that makes me kind of think. What do you think that doing this is somehow going to re-authenticate the original or something by kind of, it's like, oh, maybe the you can tell the beer's starting to kick in now. I'm starting to say maybe it's the maybe I can make this song sound more beautiful if I do it in a slightly different context. And it's like, well, yeah, but like, what makes you think that doing that is going to do something to the original? Like, it's a sort of.
I think I know what you mean.
Unless it's for a laugh, unless it's Enter Sandman done in a kind of like gentle acoustic version or something.
But there's also an element alongside that, Ned. I'm with you. There's also an element of like people don't necessarily attempt to get in the same place, especially if it's like a slow acoustic-y one. They don't attempt to get into the same place as what they imagined that person was when they wrote the track. Or that's how I feel anyway. So it ends up coming across like, we'll just, it's a very popular song, so we'll just do a rendition of it, and of course it'll get lots of hits on YouTube. It just doesn't quite feel like it's got the authenticity to me. I
heard it a lot. It's almost like every other, I don't know, insurance advert on television has got a sensitive cover version of.
Because
I don't know.
Well, Lily Allen famously said, well, not famously, she said it a few times, but she was on Mo's show that he has on Channel 4, and the question was, what song do you hate performing live? And it was one of these questions you have to deny one and answer another, and it was clearly that she wanted to say this publicly, and it was she was asked to do Somewhere Only We Know by Keane, and it was obviously for an amount of money for said advert, like you said.
Yeah,
I think
I remember for Christmas,
Marks and Spencer's, or John Lewis, one of those.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to say what they are, but one of those. And she absolutely hates it. But when people go watching her live, who know her for that song, and it's just like, nah. And you know, when she first started off, she was only like 18, 19 or something, doing Smile, and it was this kind of really London celebratory, vibey kind of pop song.
I quite liked that song at the time.
Yeah, it was sick. I thought it was really LDN. Was it called LDN? And it was just like, it told a wicked sort of witty story, and it was full of her personality. And then it's next minute, like a few years later, somewhere only we know. It's like, no, it's not even Keane's best song.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. It was not a good choice.
Anyway,
yeah.
We'll leave that one. It's kind of like one of those, isn't it? But this one is interesting. So this one is kind of, I've got some input based on this weekend's experience of live music again. But what kind of concerts do you like best? Stadium-sized, festivals, small or intimate club dates?
Yeah,
Depends on who it is, doesn't it?
I've been to a few small ones where I've had a very nice time.
Very nice time.
Very nice time. I mean, I haven't really been to that many stadium shows, really, actually. Yeah, I think I mean, I've seen a lot of I've seen a lot of good gigs where I'm kind of like so close to the band, I feel like I'm almost in it. You know.
I like that. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, just like get right up close and you know, as long as they don't have a problem with that. But
No.
yeah, I think
Get off stage, Ned.
yeah. Can you get off the drum kit, please?
Yeah. Do you mind if I just?
Have a go. Can I just have a go?
Mate, let's have a go.
Yeah. I think there should be more of that. Random audience participation.
I've had that before. I've had people coming up and just like back when I used to do a lot of shows, and sometimes I would play like quite drum and bassy nights. Guys would just come up and go, "Can I MC?" And I'd just be like, "No, go away."
Yeah. Can I potentially ruin your song and take you a different direction?
A couple of times I would kind of let them do it, but I would put like the chaos pad on them or something and just kind of mangle up.
Yeah.
Make a feature.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, I think I probably like the medium to small. I think, but I mean, I guess it depends who it is, really.
Yeah,
I mean, we talked about this. We talked last time we were on. I think we were talking about that Chemical Brothers set at Glastonbury a couple of years back.
Yes.
So 2019, I think. And
Yeah.
you know, even though I watched it on television, I was thinking, God, I wish I was there. That
Yeah,
was so
I
good.
think, and that's kind of leads what I was going to say to this. It's because the visuals were so well done and so in tune with the music. Literally, I don't mean in tune, but and it was kind of like that is, you know, very what I think we were saying about the future of gigs and concerts. It needs to be a full-on audio-visual experience because the music just isn't enough anymore. That's kind of, but it never was with Chemical Brothers. It's always part of that thing. But yeah, I think for me, I saw. This is something I was going to speak to you about, Tim, actually, but I'll just say it on air. But so I took a video of New Order, and the one thing that was, I mean, you know, like Bernard, the vocalist, he's you know he's he's a legend, you know, Manchester legend. So I'm not saying, you know, he's kind of it was, you know, he's getting on a bit, and the vocals aren't the best, but the tracks are, you know, very, you know, iconic and everything. But the visuals, and I don't know who had done this for them, but as I said, I've done a remix for the guys from Sea Fever, which is Phil and Tom, who play in the New Order band, and I recognise the sort of character, same vibe in their video. And what they'd done, they'd put like sort of two colours on either side, and then a projection video, themed video in the middle, and then at the side of the stage was two big screens of Bernard, the vocalist, and it kind of looked really good. It was kind of set out really well, and it was kind of like well designed, if you like, you know what I mean? And it was obviously the music was great, but the way they'd done it, I thought I can just imagine that translating from the stage to your mobile devices, where you could literally do the same thing, but rather than 16, 19, you know, like that way up instead, and you could continue the theme of like, they had these two sort of like cross hatch designs with the video content that was all synced to the music. It was like the particular clip I'm going to show you, like it's there's a like a young girl singing the lyrics, and when he was singing them, obviously it was in sync with her, so she was singing what he was singing. Atmospheric video, and these like really well positioned coloured borders. Anyway, But where I was stood, you either had to make a compromise of, if you go near the front, you get the atmosphere and you get to see and feel the musicians a bit, which an outdoor massive gig is pretty hard anyway, because people have been here all afternoon, mate. Fuck off, you know. I'm not into all that, right? So you go further back, you lose the atmosphere, but it sounds miles better because if it's outdoor, you know, the sound guy can do everything he wants.
You've always got to go and stand where the sound guy is.
Yeah, and you know, if the wind blows and the rain comes, it changes everything. But if you actually went back as far as where the ice cream vans are, it was amazing. It was everything just landed, whether it was all this, like, you know, the PAs are all calculated to do this, but it was great. And it was just like, and then I was at Park Life on the Sunday, and there was like, oh man, there was some horrendous sounds. I don't mean the music. I'm not going to pass any opinion on the music, but because there were, I think, something like 6 stages in the space of only a couple of football fields, 6 stages. They were, you know, the main stage kind of, they tried to time them well, but the John Hopkins was on, and it was like, we could talk over it, and it's like, that's not right, is it? Do you know what I mean? It's like, he was DJing, but it was like, sort of, it should have been a lot louder. And I'm not one for having it banging, but his obviously playing records, very well produced records, and they sound great. And then before him was Kamal Williams, which was just mega. It was like jazzy, funky, really good live instruments. You could hear everything. But Bicep came on after John Hopkins, and it was just, it didn't seem to kick in because the PA wasn't kind of doing it justice. But there was a point just before John Hopkins came on where me and my mate were just stood, and you know the kind of cable that goes all the way from the sound desk to the front of the stage, and we were stood on that plastic thing, and there was no one there because it was like people were walking backwards and forwards across the stage, and we were just stood on that, and we'd had a few drinks, and we said, wouldn't it be great if we could just be in a little bubble now, and no one could push us away from it, but we could just sit down on a chair, like armchairs, but still have this experience and just go, yeah, this is good. But we didn't have to the queues for the drinks, and it was just ridiculous. You know
Gone are the days where we used to be smack bang fighting, tussling to get into the middle of the crowd. Now I'd like to sit here near the sound desk in a bubble with a chair.
But it sounds like you want to go and watch Pavarotti in Hyde Park. I
wouldn't mind that. Actually.
Yeah, no,
that sounds like a nice time.
Yeah.
Nice time.
But with a drum and bass underscore. But what I'm saying is that it's like, I think now it's getting to the point where if you're young and you don't care, which, you know, I've been there. Do you know what I mean? I've been to see Slayer and Pantera and Metallica and, you know, some of the naughty sounds. Never seen Sepultura, though, which was a bit of regret. I think maybe I was too young or not allowed to go. But it's like, you know, you get involved, but as you get like a little bit older and you're just thinking like, I'll just stay out of it. You know, like you know,
I want to hear it.
Yeah, I want to hear it first and foremost. But it was like,
for me, it depends how many beers I've had. I mean, like, I went to a very, very small festival a few years ago. It was tiny. I think there must have been about 300, 500 people, and there was like this kind of blast beat band playing. The drummer was playing at like 300 miles an hour, and I was probably on my 8th beer by this point, and I just walked right up to the front, and I was just like, whatever you
can I have a go?
Yeah, whatever. Just give me all the loud noise now.
Give me the sound. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, the weather was on the turn as well. I was thinking I'm going to get muddy here and that, but it was, you know, I was thinking of all the wrong things. I was thinking of all the wrong things because the volume actually didn't suggest how to behave. Where you just described that, then it's like, yeah, right at the front had a few beers, and it was like, it's a totally different experience. So my actual long-winded answer about this is, it's so artist dependent, and it's so sound quality dependent and venue dependent. All these things kind of pushing and pulling. But yeah, I think arena things. I think if the kind of, you know, like, you know what the MEN's like, or if it's called now, Tim, or whatever the
I don't know. It changes names every couple of years,
but
doesn't it?
This kind of idea that, you know, the Illuminati sit around in the boxes, and but just these kind of like, you know, people pay for
and the
boxes,
peasants and beat each other in the middle.
But it's just like looking down on the stage and sitting down. I mean, I saw like Red Hot Chili Peppers there, and you know, sort of I've seen all sorts of Faithless and whatever. And, you know, Faithless, I was in the crowd and bouncing about and whatever. And it's like the style of music can dictate it, can't it, really? Like, but yeah, somewhere in between the indoor controlled sound with the right audio-visual experience and the option to have a little bounce about. But if you want to sit down, you can.
Actually, that's the one thing I quite like about small festivals that aren't too overcrowded is that it's very easy to get to the front and to the back as quickly as possible.
Yeah,
There's not really anyone there.
Yeah.
Everyone's nicely spaced. You get like really crowded places. You can sometimes get to a spot and you're stuck there for the whole.
Well,
thing.
exactly. When
It can get quite claustrophobic.
well, this is it. Like, considering the environment and what's happened over the last 18 months or 2 years, whatever. But yeah, when Bicep came on, it was like, how, you know, it was just people around, and then all of a sudden it was just like, poof, you ain't going anywhere, and you were like, what were you laughing at, Tim?
Sorry, Simon, I'm not laughing at you. I'm
Oh,
laughing at MHO.
Oh, what's he saying?
Said, went to see Tangerine Dream, sat at the very front, wondered why nobody else was with us. Then they hit the first note, watched the second half, cowering at the back. Then the second one was Chumbawamba's mosh pit was proper violent.
Yeah.
If you got down, you ain't coming up again.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Enjoyed that MHO, definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, they were. So, yeah, someone. Who was the most violent gig I've ever been to? And I was just like, whoa.
I've got a frightening frightening gig.
Go on.
Which and it was completely by accident, but believe it or not, I saw the first ever Foo Fighters British live show at Reading in 1995.
Oh wow.
And they were only minutes out. You know, I don't even think the first record was out. And I can take or leave the Foo Fighters, but at the time, after Nirvana, it was exciting.
Yeah.
And they were. And I must have been about 14. I can't imagine a 14-year-old going to Reading Festival now. It's just ridiculous. Different times. But I was with my mate and we were like, yeah, we're going to go watch the Foo Fighters. And they were like 20 minutes late and everyone was going nuts. People were like climbing up the rafters. It was like real, like dangerous. And we were like, I think I might have to go. I don't know where this is going. But like they were in the second sort of, like, I guess not the main stage, but the second tent. And I think Bjork was on the main stage, but everyone was just bundling into and it might have taken us about half an hour to get out of this tiny tent because it was just rammed, and it was like, I can't imagine that being with today's health and safety standards. If they let that happen. But,
no, probably not.
Mental.
Yeah.
People were crowd surfing and there wasn't even any music yet. People were going nuts. The limbs. All I can remember is just limbs.
The excitement.
Sounds like a good do.
And then eventually they did come on, and I think we made it to like the first song, and it was just like, I don't think my feet were even on the floor.
Yeah.
And I'm tall.
Yeah. I remember. I think it was Primal Scream at Manchester Apollo at Christmas time, and we'd been out all day kind of vibe, only to end up watching. It was kind of, Manny was in the band, put it that way. It was that kind of era. It was the Exterminator, if you know that kind of, and it was heavy and funky sort of thing. It wasn't the kind of like almost Rolling Stones vibe of Screamadelica. It was like full on. It was like naughty. It was great, but I have flashbacks from that gig because I was so like away with the fairies, and I lost my shoe and my phone.
Oh no!
But they were both returned back to me. It was like I must have made like the I sort of floated from the front all the way through the crowd, and then at the end, I kind of just motioned towards the front, and like somebody handed me the shoe, and then my phone. There's my phone, Nokia little thing, and I survived, and then went to a club afterwards.
It didn't finish there.
I was only violently ill when I got back, But yeah, I had flashbacks from that gig. Very like pink and purple lights and things. But yeah, that was it was quite rough for the Apollo. That I was just getting, it was like a mosh pit. And ironically, I saw Pantera support Megadeth, and they still had the seats in the Apollo at the time. They never used to take them out. And Phil Anselmo from Pantera said, "Go on, rip the fucking seats out," and they didn't.
My gosh.
They didn't.
I saw Rage Against the Machine at Wembley Arena.
Oh my word!
And that was a seated gig as well. That was really weird. I was like, this is and I was like right up in the sort of, like right high up in the what I don't know, the rafters or whatever you call it, like in the high seats. And they were just kind of tiny little dots over there, and I was kind of like, I'm not sure about this. I think they're probably a band that are better in like a sort of 200-300 capacity venue.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some bands just shouldn't do arenas. I don't think it kind of ruins it.
No,
I do. I've got to say I did enjoy the Apollo as well. The Apollo's good when you get. We went watching. Who was? I can't remember, and it's not going to be interesting for me to try and remember.
No, sorry.
We went to the Apollo watching Smashing Pumpkins, and it was one of the most animated mental gigs that I've been to, but only for 2 songs, and they were the 2 encores, because he came in playing a load of his new shit, and nobody seemed to be like grasping to it. And then when it got to the encore, he came on and played Zero and Butterfly with Bullet Wings. Bullet with Butterfly Wings, excuse me. And the whole place just absolutely erupted. I've never seen anywhere like it, but it's because they've been sat there listening to an hour's worth of shit before they got those 2 tracks.
Was this like recently or
this was? I think this was probably about 5 years ago.
Because he's gone all like modular now, isn't he?
He has, yeah.
Billy Corgan.
It makes me toes curl, some of the stuff that he's doing now. And I used to be a huge fan of him. Can you imagine if he was watching now? The chances are
I've
very
told him
slim.
not to watch.
But if he'd say, right, "Who are you bald bastard, calling me shit?" But I don't know. It just feels soulless what he's doing these days. It really it upsets me a bit.
Well, let him have his fun. He's earned his place, hasn't he?
I'm sure he won't be affected by my commentary. Yeah.
No. Well, anyway, I think for everyone involved,
we should call it there. Yeah.
It's quite a long show for you guys. Isn't
it? I don't want us. I want us to end on a high.
I'm itching to get into the after party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. And so just anyone that's still watching, now I know you are still watching, I can tell, but anyone that's watching, so there will be no show next Wednesday, but there'll be one the week after. So if you've joined us, thanks so much for joining us. Oh, hang on, what's this? Left Field played. Plaster was falling from the ceiling when Left Field played. The first Left Field tour was magic. That first album was amazing. Anyway, so yeah, we'll be here 2 weeks today. If you join us this week, in 2 weeks' time, you'll have just missed it. So make sure you take from the beginning. And it's Chris Woods who's going to be on. Chris Woods Orchestra, the wonderful guitarist who played at the beginning. And Tim will be telling us more about his composition thoughts and creativity thoughts and starters, for sure.
Yeah.
And we may have wrestled with Ned to get another jingle out of him. Who knows? Anything could happen in 2 weeks. Anything.
What would it be a jingle for? Songversations.
Well, Songversations, but also Tim's Creativity Corner. It needs a better title. But it's going to be.
Does it really?
Does it?
Tim's Creativity Corner.
In brackets, the mental game. It's got to have. It's like it's not. It's not about whether I should use a tritone substitution. It's whether I should actually sack it off or continue. Maybe sack it off or continue. Maybe that one. Yeah, we'll have a think about this.
All right. Well, when you've nailed the title, drop me an email and I'll.
Do a jingle.
See what I can do.
There you go. See, that's what you need to do. Just
now that I've proven to myself that I can work super fast.
Oh man, yeah, absolutely.
Constraints.
So, did you say? Evolve Tech says, "Love you, Ned." Title is epic. Correct.
Thanks, mate.
Okay. Corgan felt soulless post Siamese dream. Yeah. So they know what you're talking about. So
and just as a final reference, Simon, because we've not done enough of it because we've been enjoying ourselves too much with Ned, is guys, I've put the link again to Ned's not Ned's Spotify, you dickhead. Ned's it's supposed to be to Ned Rush's YouTube channel, so I will redo that link in a moment because I've been posting the wrong one for the last
maybe
hour.
I could post the album. link as well.
Oh,
Please
yes.
do, Ned. If you stick it, it might not let you post it. The link won't come up. So if you throw it in the chat in Zoom, and I'll get it up for you.
Can I just say as well, Milton's just said hi. The guy who we mentioned before says, thanks, people, and thanks for sharing the tintabulator. I like the use of arpeggiator on the way in. Awesome. I did try it a few different ways, Milton. And Milton, will you come on a future show, please? If you're still listening, I'll ask you in another way anyway. But it would be great for you to to have you on, because that would be a great one. Got lots to talk about. So yeah, check Milt Online as well. Will you put that in, Tim, as well?
Milt Online.
It's www.miltonline.com, I think. Just I did have it before. It was hang on, yeah, it's here. I've got it on miltonline.com. I've actually got it here myself. I can just do it if you want. Go and check this, guys. Fantastic. A pleasure, he says. Amazing. Well, you will be on, and maybe in a couple of weeks, Milton. That would be great, wouldn't it? So that'll be a good show. Wow, potential. Lots going on. So
Lots
yes,
going
so
on.
2 weeks time, and we'll see you then. And thanks so much for listening. The regular crew that keep coming back, we really appreciate it, because it's just something that we wanted to do, and it seems to be great. And thanks, big thanks for the 2-week album scorcher that is Ned Rush. And thanks so much for coming on. It's great to have you on as a guest, as a great YouTuber, and also a friend and supporter of our show. So thanks so much, and it's just great. And thanks for all the great things you say about us as well. And we continue to say them about you as always. So thanks a lot, guys.
I hear all of them every week, and I'm always thinking, when do I do the checks in the mail joke? When should I do that joke in the chat?
Just
When
keep
have you
doing
done
it.
it?
Chestnut.
Shoot it up. Yes, Helena, thanks for joining as well. And Wicked, everybody. Thanks so much.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Ned. Always a
Good
pleasure.
weekend.
Never a
Thank
chore. So.
Thank you. Yeah, likewise.
And we'll just leave with the titles. Just leave you to fade off in the background. So thanks so much, guys. Check you soon.
See you then.